on day 3 of week 1 of the Grand Circuit at the Red Mile. So happy to be joined by Joe McLeod of Sugar Valley Farms. Welcome to Lexington.
Thanks for having me, Jess.
Real quick before we talk about Sugar Valley Farms, we've been talking about this last couple of days. It's so great to see so many different horses come from so many jurisdictions. It makes for really good racing because you don't always see these matchups, especially, you got, I think, Ohio bringing in a ton of horses.
Oh, it's a lot of fun to see Ohio back on the map and doing what we're doing in the state, and to be represented down here and amongst the national scene and the whole Grand Circuit scheme of things. It's we're starting to be on more of a level playing field throughout the entire country on the Grand Circuit, and it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, and speaking of big nights in Ohio, a couple weeks ago at Scioto Downs, 18 races, I think 12 or 14 of those were Ohio championship races. Such great racing that night for the state of Ohio.
It was an awesome night. I think we raced for just shy of $4 million. There was 18 races, and 16 of the 18 were the Ohio Scarlet and Gray Championships. And then we had a couple of the Grand Circuit races for the older horses, and it was just a phenomenal night. There was a great crowd. Scioto Downs, El Dorado, or whomever owns them now, has done a phenomenal job with the new grandstand, and it's going to be a great place to race for a long time.
Yeah, and it was a packed house that night.
It was really packed until a little later in the night, but it was a long day.
All right, let's get into the sale and a few horses down by the seaside having another great year.
Yes, he's continuing to show his dominance in the state, and he's a force on the national scene as well. He's been a pleasant surprise. Anytime you stand a stallion and you start from the get-go, you just hope and pray that something hits and it comes around, and he's done a great job. He's a very fertile individual. He's a great horse to be around, and his proof is in the pudding on the track, and it's a lot of fun to have him, and we're trying to create more in the state, and so it's coming along. And he's already had a nice win today with his 3-year-old Payson filly McSeaside and 48-4, and so it's doing good.
He is doing very good. Let's talk about Lather Up. It was the first crop for him. What were your impressions on his first season?
I'm really happy with the way Lather Up performed this year with his first crop. They all ended up in pretty good hands, and a lot of people really liked him. And he's second behind Better's Wish as a leading 2-year-old first crop stallion, and having to race against Down by the Seaside and the Racing Hills and Fear the Dragons. Ohio's got a good group of stallions, and for him to perform the way he did this year in his first crop, it was really not surprising, but it was something we needed for the state to continue on, especially